Hey dudes, Mr. Bruce is back with another book today. Today's book, one of my favorites, Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type. I'll explain that to you in a bit. But first, we're going to have eyes watching, ears listening, voices quiet, body calm. Now, this is about cows on a farm that type, and you don't even know what type is, some of you. When mom and dad sit down at the computer and they push the keyboards and the letters come up on the screen, that's like a typewriter. But a typewriter, instead of having a screen, makes them come out on paper so you can make notes on it. And since they can't talk, that'd be the best way for them to communicate. So this is about cows that type on a typewriter and send messages. This is Farmer Brown. Farmer Brown has a problem. His cows like to type. All day long he hears click, 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 clack, 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 click, click, moo, click, 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 clack, 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 moo, because that's what it sounds like when you type clickety click and clickety clack on the keys. At first, Farmer Brown couldn't believe his ears. Cows that type? That's impossible. He's been a farmer for 50 years. He's never heard of cows that can type. But there from the barn comes clickety-clack moo, clickety-clack, clack, clack, moo, clickety-clack, clack, moo. He had to go see what was going on. Well, when he got there, he could not believe his ears. There was a note waiting for him on the barn door, and it said, "Dear Farmer Brown, the barn is very, very cold at night. We would like some electric blankets. Sincerely, the cows." Well, he thought it was bad enough that the cows had found the old typewriter in the barn. Now they wanted electric blankets? No way, said Farmer Brown. No electric blankets. So the cows went on strike. When you go on strike, that means I'm not going to work for you anymore. They went on strike and they left another note on the farmer's door, and it said, "Sorry, there'll be no milk. We're closed today." They really are not working. The farmer said, "No milk today." In the background, he heard the cows. They were busy at work, and this is what he heard. Clickety, clickety, clack, moo. Clickety, clickety, clack, moo. Clickety, clickety, clack, moo. The next day, Farmer Brown got another note, and it said, "Dear Farmer Brown, the hens are cold also. They like electric blankets too. Sincerely, once more, the cows." They're the hens. They must have talked to the cows and said, "Hey, we're cold too." Well, the cows were getting more and more impatient with the farmer. He wouldn't answer them. They left a new note on the barn door. "No eggs. No eggs, no milk. We're closed." "No eggs," said the Farmer Brown. In the background, he heard them. They were still typing. Clickety, clack, click, clack, clickety, click, click, moo. Cows that type, he said, hens on strike. Whoever heard of such a thing? How can I run a farm with no milk and no eggs? Farmer Brown was not happy. More than not happy, he was furious. And look down there, who's watching the whole thing? The duck. Farmer Brown then went inside and got out his own typewriter, and he typed a note, and it said this: "Dear cows and hens, there will be no electric blankets. You are cows and hens. I demand milk and eggs. Sincerely, Farmer Brown." And he left it for them to read. Well, the duck was a neutral partner. He had nothing to do with this, either with the cows and or hens or Farmer Brown, so he let him be the neutral party, like Switzerland, and he brought the ultimatum up to the cows. He went all the way up the trail to where the cows lived and brought them the note. Then the cows held an emergency meeting. They locked themselves in the barn. All the animals gathered around to snoop, but none of them could understand moo or hear through the door. All night, Farmer Brown waited and waited and waited for their answer. What do you think they would say? Well, the next morning, the duck knocked on their door early, and he handed Farmer Brown their response, and it said this: "Dear Farmer Brown, we'll exchange our typewriter for electric blankets. If you leave them outside the barn doors, we will send the duck over with their typewriter. Sincerely, the cow. Well, Farmer Brown thought it over, and he decided this is a pretty good deal. So he left the blankets there for them, next to the barn door, and he waited for the ducks to come back with the typewriter, finally. The next morning, the farmer got a note. It said, "Dear Farmer Brown, the pond is quite boring and we'd like a diving board. Sincerely, the ducks." Now the ducks have the typewriter and they're typing. They want a diving board. And it said, clickety-click, clack, clack, quack. Clickety-clack, clack, quack. Clickety-clack, clack, quack. Oh, the farmer was so upset. Well, they got their diving board because there goes the duck. The end. So here's my question. The hens and the cows, they wanted electric blankets because it was chilly. The duck, well, he wanted a diving board. The other animals are here. What do you think the sheep would want? Or the dog, or the pig, or the donkey? What do you think they'd want if they could type? So that's your question. I'll be back tomorrow. So everybody be good and remember, wash your hands. Bye-bye.